Today, I have the honor of speaking to Felecia Hatcher. She's a popsicle chick.
Okay, I'll take that. That's
Popsicle
new.
chick. I actually met Felecia a few years ago. We have a common mentor, and I followed her profile, and she makes ice cream and popsicles down in South Florida. And she runs this company called Feverish. Feverish, and she is a social entrepreneur. She's a nerd.
Uh-huh.
She's been on TED. That's huge.
Yeah.
How did it feel speaking at TED?
It was definitely a very overwhelming experience, but a very cool experience as well. I followed TED for a very long time,
Right.
so it was always kind of like that life goal to eventually be on that stage. So to do TEDx was really an honor.
Actually, when I saw it, you rocked it.
Okay,
I
thank
was
you.
feeling like,
I was a nervous wreck though, because it was just, it's like when you set a goal and then you finally get there and you're just kind of overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I'm here. And to get over that point and do like the job that you're supposed to do, it was a little nerve wracking.
right. Yeah, if you've never heard of TED, TED is like an awesome platform. Well, people with different niches in the area of technology and other areas have a huge platform to share their story. And you were there talking about business.
Yes.
You was there talking about
essentially.
your story. And so Felecia was in town. I said, I have to get her on the set to share her story. And so she came by the studio, and she's wearing this T-shirt.
Uh-huh.
It says, startup
Or shut up.
or shut up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I know you're in startup businesses.
Yeah.
Why did you have this T-shirt design?
I mean, not just for business, but just I think for the everyday person, a lot of times we're all talk. And it's one of those things where you get to a point like, all right, how long are you going to keep talking before you put something into action? How long are you going to talk about quitting your job or starting a side business before you actually just take the first step and do it? And usually the first step is not that hard, but it's very intimidating.
Right.
So it's like, just start already. Start with where you are, start with what you know, start small and constantly think big, but start.
Good stuff. So tell me, how did you get into the whole popsicle business?
The embarrassing story is I fell into the business.
Okay.
Literally. I was leaving a party and I fell down chasing an ice cream truck in heels. And who does that but me, right? Chasing an ice cream truck in heels, and literally while I'm on the floor, that's when the light bulbs start going off. The first one is I'm way too old to chase after an ice cream truck. And then the second one was how come anyone hasn't come up with a cooler way for adults to enjoy ice cream?
Okay.
And that's where the idea came from, and I just kind of toyed with the idea for a while. I was working as a mobile marketing manager for Nintendo, so I really loved
For who?
For Nintendo. Nintendo, yes.
I have an old Nintendo, like
Those are the best.
I can't get it. You have to take the game and blow on it.
Most kids won't ever know what that's like, but
I still have mine, actually.
Duck Hunt too.
Duck Hunt, Donkey Kong, Super Mario Brothers. Was it Tecmo Bowl?
Yeah.
I think I still have Tecmo Bowl.
Okay.
So, you a gamer?
A little bit. My favorite game, no matter what comes out, is Tetris. I love Tetris, and I love the old Super Mario Brothers.
Do you have it on your phone?
Of course, I do.
iPhone, right?
Yes, the
Good
iPhone.
The iPhone
The iPhone.
users. So, the name Feverish, where did that name come from?
There's really no magic behind the name. I really wanted to create a lifestyle brand and not just like an ice cream company.
Okay.
So we really consider our company an ice cream experience company because it encompasses so much more than just us creating a product and selling a product. So I wanted something that was fashionable, that was kind of trendy, and that was new and youthful. It's funny because one of the first stores that approached us to carry our product there, they actually wanted us to change the name to something more traditional. He was like, I think you should do like Hatcher's ice cream. It just sounds like it's been around for a long time. And I'm like, if that's what you want me to do, you really don't understand what we're trying to do. Right. So interesting.
Okay. So I know you was doing, I think when I first saw you, I saw the whole Feverish piece. And I did a little bit of research on you, right? And I noticed that you and I have some things in common.
Okay.
So,
other than our hair?
Yeah. I think my hair is a little bit higher than yours.
Okay, yeah.
But you have a tight edge up.
All right.
But No, another thing that we had in common was this area of scholarships.
Okay.
And I was so blessed to go to school, get all these degrees, and I didn't pay a single penny to do so. And I had pretty good grades.
Yeah.
And as I was doing the research on you,
Polar opposites, huh?
it was the opposite. And then I noticed that you had this book called
The C Student's Guide to
The
Scholarships.
C Student's Guide to Scholarship. So I had to buy the book. So I had to go get the book, and so it's actually on my shelf. All right. So I said, let me find out about this Felecia Hatcher. So the C Student's Guide to Scholarships. Now, I realize there are a lot of traditional ways that you can go to get scholarships. So, you know, the financial aid piece and applying for academic scholarships. And if you're an athlete, you can go that route, or you can apply for a scholarship based on a certain major.
Right.
So tell me how this started, the C Student's Guide to a Scholarship. So I'm assuming, I think I saw somewhere that you were not an A student. You were.
I definitely wasn't an A student.
Okay.
I was a C student, at one point borderline D student.
Oh, wow.
Great, you know, the story of the book, it's me, and it started at 9th grade. I had a rough transition from middle school to high school and spent way more times, you know, playing basketball and talking to boys than I did studying my books.
That's the two B's.
That's the two B's, yeah.
Boys and books.
That's what I majored in high school, the two B's. And unfortunately, my grades suffered, and really, really bad, to the point where I had a 2.1 GPA the end of my freshman year.
Okay.
And, you know, a lot of people don't recover from that because they don't know that there is something else that you can do. There is you can start creating your own opportunities, and you're not a walking GPA. And it took me 3 years of trying to raise my GPA as high as I could to really realize that, and then also a guidance counselor that told me I'd never amount to anything.
Wow.
That was really the push that I needed to say, hey, let's prove this lady wrong. And then on the flip side, you really want to go to college. Let's just figure out how to get creative and how to pay for it.
Right. So tell me about your parents. Tell me, were they the type of parent that had money saved up for college?
Oh,
or
no.
Was it a situation where money was tight? You know, like for me, I'm raised in a middle class broke family.
Yeah.
You know about middle class broke.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like my family.
So how did that play a part? Tell me the strategy behind, you know, you had this 2.1, was it? 2.1 GPA till the time of graduation. Tell me what you did to get this scholarship.
Well, with my parents, my mom is very big on education. She's been a lifelong student and lifelong educator.
Right.
She has her PhD now, and she's a college professor. But at that time when I was in high school, and I have a brother that's a year younger than me, all four of us were in school at the same time. So my parents, you know, deferred going to college until we were older. So literally all four of us were in school. So that, from a financial standpoint, that made it hard. But then also from a studying standpoint, you know, my brother and I could just kind of skirt by because their time was so consumed with everything else, you know, work and school, and then taking care of us. So it made for an interesting dynamic, but then at the same time, my mom was very strict on both of us going to college. And she's like, you're either going to college or you're going to the military. Those are your only two choices. You got to be out the house at 18. And if you go to military, you eventually got to go to college.
Okay.
But by the way, you got to figure out your own way to pay for it. So it was a lot kind of stacked up on me, as well as not having the best grades and kind of have to fight against those odds. I was really active. I was a really active student. I played basketball, but I was also a part of a lot of clubs. And then I did a lot of community service work. But I didn't know that those things would be able to help me get scholarships if I just kind of learned how to market myself.
Right.
And once I started to learn that hey, they don't really care so much about my GPA, or let me not let them talk so much about my GPA, but talk about all these other great things that I was doing. Because I wasn't a slacker.
Okay, Now that's something powerful in there.
Okay.
So you had this low GPA that was still rising, and you mentioned about being involved in other activities.
Right.
So I've seen people do this, where you sort of take the attention off of the GPA and you put more attention on the other activities and service organizations.
Correct.
Tell me more specifically.
Well, if you think about it, if you're not focusing on your grades, your attention is elsewhere. You know, and it usually lies within your hobby. That's what you're spending most of your time with. So it's really just kind of figuring out how to turn your passion into profit.
Okay.
You know, and that's what joining clubs, community service and being active and just learning. I mean, that was my first lesson in marketing. I ended up having a career in marketing, but that was my first lesson in, hey, if I'm at a scholarship interview and they mention my grades, hey, this is why, tell them the story. This is why I didn't do so well. And actually a lot of people are afraid to share that story, or, hey, my parents got a divorce and it was really rough for me for those first 2 years. Like, they're human beings.
So is that a lie?
No, I mean, you tell the truth. But
what if he was just sorry? I was just sorry in school and my grades dropped.
Tell them. I mean, I would appreciate the honesty. And then from there, you kind of turn that negative into a positive. Like, hey, I was lazy. I spent all my time on TV, and I spent all my time playing the guitar. But I am a great guitar player. And then you bring a guitar to the interview and start playing for them. Like, cool. But why not?
Right.
So yeah.
I think a lot of times, even when people are searching for jobs or changing a new career, they would tend to do something that is traditional.
Right.
Everybody goes online now to fill out an application and submit it.
It's ridiculous.
Same thing with scholarships. What can you do to make yourself stand out,
right,
so that the person who's making the decision can actually remember you when it comes down to your application?
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that, let's talk about searching for scholarships.
Okay.
I know when I was going through school, there was this, I call it encyclopedia. It was called the Blue Book.
Okay.
It was these huge volumes in the library that laid out every single school in the nation, every organization or company that had money and funds for scholarships.
Okay.
And I went in and looked for every last one of them that had something to do with science, and I applied to like 7 of them.
Okay.
So that was a traditional way, just go and look at these volumes. Now with the internet changing, the whole game changing, give us a few ways that you would recommend people now who may not have the A's or the B's, but the C's.
Yeah. And
to locate some great scholarships.
Well, I think definitely the scholarship revolution is digital now.
Okay.
I think, a lot of times people think that scholarship organizations are trying to hoard and hold on to the money, and they're not doing that. What they're starting to do is tap into social media, because let's be honest, we all walk around with cell phones. I see 5-year-olds walking around with iPhones.
It's nuts now.
It is. But at the same time, just like major corporations know that they have to figure out how to tap into what you carry around all the time, scholarship committees want to give the information. So they're starting to post it on Twitter. They're starting to post it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on their own websites. It's easier now because you don't have to fill out as many print applications. A lot of it can be done online, so it almost becomes a system that you can build a copy and paste in a way, and really be able to send out a lot of applications at one time instead of taking a long time to fill out that one application. I love Twitter. Okay. I'm a Twitter fanatic.
I'm a follower.
Okay. Yeah, I do follow you.
Now you do.
Yes. But
what's your Twitter name?
Felecia Hatcher. Felecia spelled with 2 E's. Felecia.
Okay, you got the F-E. I'll post it in the video. All right. So tell me about this whole Twitter thing.
Okay, so just like Google, like you would type in any search key terms in Google, you can do the exact same thing on Twitter. And the beauty of what I like about Twitter is it's instant instant information and content sharing, but you can type in keywords like scholarship plus PDF. So anything, if they're putting a scholarship link to the PDF application and they're posting on Twitter, you can find those direct links to the application. You can type in scholarships plus HTTP, and then that will show you, organizations that have posted links to their websites. Scholarship plus deadline.
For people who are not geeks like us, explain the reason why you have to put the plus sign there.
Just so you can get your search results have both terms in them.
Okay.
Instead of it just coming up with one thing or the other, even like the quotation marks will help kind of define your search so you're not bombarded with like a ton of nonsense stuff.
So scholarship plus 2012.
Yes.
Scholarship plus, I know you can even search this online. You can get a scholarship for being a twin.
You can get a scholarship for being a twin. You can get a scholarship for being a bench warmer on your basketball team. That was me back in high school. The possibilities are endless. I've seen scholarships with, if you have a specific last name and you're going to a specific college, your race, your religion, left hand, right hand, your height or your lack of height. they're endless.
Right.
And then you have all, the even crazier ones, or the ones that are just essay based.
Okay.
Write an essay on bees, or show that you have a passion in basketball. Like, anybody can do that,
Right.
For $10,000. Why wouldn't you? Well, how couldn't you show that? So,
here's the thing that I realized, I think when it was all said and done, from high school through grad school, I think I might have had $317,000 scholarships.
Yeah.
All right, so that's undergrad.
Oh,
grad
excuse
school.
me.
No, I mean, you're good. You're good. But you got a check for $100,000.
Uh-huh.
All right, and then you got more scholarships after that. Share with us why it's important to, rather than looking for the one big scholarship, to take this cumulative effect.
You have to. You can't. I've never been a person to put all my eggs in one basket. And you can't either. It's really important to just try and pull your resources from as many places as possible. I like crowdsourcing, and crowdfunding is really big right now. Where you can.
It's like raising a church offering.
Right, exactly. Like pass the plate. But it's essentially the same thing. If churches do it, why can't you do it? You have micro lending and things like that. And the same thing can, go towards education, right, and help you to create your own opportunities. With the recession, there are not as many organizations that are giving out money, but they still do exist. Right. So they may not have the $10,000 to put towards an official scholarship program, but they may have $300. Right. You can break it up. One of the guys that I went to high school with, one thing that he did was he wrote a letter, and he went door to door and dropped it off at every single business in the town that we were in. And he ended up funding his first 2 years of school. Some businesses say, hey, I don't have enough to do your whole tuition, but I'll pay for your books for your first semester. Okay. Or I'll pay for one class for the first semester. And then send me your report card, I'll pay for the second class. And he literally built his own scholarships with very small donations. Right. And then crowdfunding is now allowing us to do the exact same thing, but tapping into our social network. Right. So no need to have 10,000 followers, right, if you can't be able to reach out to them in your time of need when funding your education.
Okay. All right. So I want to break things down for people. I always want to help them. And so in everything I do, I always give them 7.25 ways to get there. All right. So from everything that you talk about in the book, everything that you know, let's tell our audience 7.25 ways to get scholarships. Okay. So we can start from beginning to end. What would be the first thing?
Definitely, I think diversify your interests. Try and join as many organizations and explore your interests, but then also look for opportunities that provide scholarships. So you think of people that work at McDonald's. A lot of times teenagers will pick on their friends because they smell like French fries. But I worked at McDonald's, so I smelled like French fries when I was a kid. But being an employee at McDonald's also leads way to a scholarship opportunity, $25,000 because you are an employee. Anyone that's not an employee doesn't have that opportunity. So you want to join organizations that have that opportunity. FBLA is a really good organization that has tons of opportunities, so definitely that was top.
The first one, diversify your interests.
Yes.
Okay, what will be the second one?
The second one I would say is increase your marketability. So understanding that, hey, you may sit on the couch and play video games. Well then, if that's what your interest is, look for opportunities that meet that interest. Okay. Definitely important. And then you also have to understand that those things, there's human beings on the other side. And someone will be passionate about that story. Someone will connect with that story. So just doing that for sure.
Okay. What's the third thing?
I started to lead into it. Definitely share your story. Okay. A lot of us want to hold on to the things that we've been through that have given us the bump, provided the bump in the road that made our grades suffer, or our SATs or ACT grades suffer because we weren't ready for that test. You tell them the story, put that on paper, let them see the real you, because it is a human being that you're trying to connect with on the other side.
Okay. All right, that's number 3. What about number 4?
Number 4, fill out the applications. I'm a big advocate of thinking outside the application, but you have to still fill out the application. You can't win the lotto if you've never bought a lotto ticket. The same thing with scholarships. one thing that I can promise you, and I'm sure you can promise everyone, is that a scholarship will never fall in your lap without you doing some work, and usually it starts with filling out an application.
You know, one of the things that I tell people all the time is that this game of scholarship is different from what we hear about where college football or basketball is concerned, where you have scouts going to look for the student athlete.
Yeah.
But in our situation, we have to go and be very aggressive to look for the scholarship itself.
Yeah. Well, and then I think this could be like another point. You always have to be cautious of what you're doing because people are always watching too. Like I've worked with organizations that have said, hey, we've gone out to schools to find students because no one applied for our scholarship. So they're looking at kids that are at their church or coming to their after school program and looking for them in order to offer them that opportunity. So I think it's not as prevalent as with the sports, but there's still people always watching you.
Right. Okay, give me number five.
Have recycle, reuse. You know, when you're filling out applications, you want to try and increase your chances as much as possible.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to recycle a recommendation letter. Just get permission first.
Okay.
If
you got a recommendation from your counselor for one scholarship, just get permission from her. Hey, can I use this again for another one?
Yeah. Okay. Can you write a general one? You know, just says, hey, dear scholarship committee, instead of dear, Zeta Phi Beta scholarship. And be able to recycle that and use that because it takes time to go back and forth to your guidance counselor every time you need to fill out an application. The same thing with an essay. You know, a lot of scholarships ask for the same type of essay. The subjects may just be worded different. Right. Maybe you just need to change a few things or add a paragraph or take away a paragraph. And then what took you, days or weeks for one application, you can actually be able to send out quite a few in one day.
Okay. All right. Number six.
By the way,
these are some cool things.
Okay,
are you
cool.
guys getting this? This is pretty cool, right? All right. What's number six?
Number six, grades. I would say, I was a C student. I am never a promoter of bad grades. So you definitely,
I'm not.
Right. Yeah, you definitely are. Try and increase your chances as much as possible. I may kid about, C students rock and things like that, but it's more of just empowering you to know that just because you have bad grades, it doesn't mean that you can't go to college or you can't start a business or anything like that. But at the same time, if you still have that time to increase, your GPA, definitely don't stop working. Right. That's definitely a big one because sure, you can kind of circumvent them from looking at your GPA, but they're still going to look at it at one point or another. So grades for sure.
Okay. Number seven.
We're
almost there.
Yeah. I would say definitely let your personality shine through in the interview process. Okay. Very, very big. You were talking about how people apply for jobs and they apply for scholarships and they do a lot of the traditional stuff.
Right.
A lot of times in scholarship applications, just like job applications, people, hey, I think outside the box, but I'm going to send you the same Microsoft Office template that everyone is sending you. Right. Like that's the big red flag. Whatever your talent is, bring it to you to the interview. Okay. I was on a scholarship committee about 3 months ago. And this kid, great student, but what really sealed the deal, two students actually did this, and I was really impressed. One came and did a magic trick for everybody, all the judges, and they were just like sold. He got a full scholarship.
Wow. That
sealed the deal. Another girl on the flip side of that, she was saying that she wanted to go into advertising, but her real passion is music. And she kept talking about music, and I'm just like, dude, if you sung a song right now, it would be perfect. And that was the big comment from the judges, was that she's saying that she wants one thing, but she's not really showing us what she's truly passionate about. Right. And nothing in the application says you can't bring your guitar, right? Not at all. So definitely, that would be it.
All right. 7.25. I need that number. I need
that half.
No, quarter.
That quarter. Oh man, smile? Can we go with that one?
So this is like in a scholarship interview.
Scholarship interview, or even on the application itself.
Let you smile on the application itself.
I mean, human beings are reading it, right? Mm-hmm. So smiling, when you see someone smiling from across the room, it automatically captivates your attention. So you got to figure out, how can I, in the first 1 or 2 sentences, like, let my personality, let my smile shine through so that I captivate their attention.
I like that.
And it's usually not with, my name is Felecia and I deserve that scholarship because, like, that is like the ultimate don't ever do. But there are other ways that you can just kind of really captivate their attention. Smiling on the application.
Cool stuff. I love this book, C Student's Guide to Scholarship. And I'll put a link here on this video here. But it says a creative guide to finding scholarships when your grades suck and your parents are broke.
Yes.
You were featured in Essence magazine.
I was, yes.
Good stuff. Creative guide.
C stands for creative. That's what I think.
So A stands for awesome?
It does, yes. Awesome. It stands for awesome, man. It stands for awesome.
Hey, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Actually, just a few things here that Felecia gave us on how we can get some of that money for school. Hey, regardless if you're A student, B student, C student, if you're a D student, get those grades up. But wherever you fit in there, hey, take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. Felecia, in your opinion, when should a person start looking for scholarships? When should they start doing some of these things that we're talking about? Which year in high school?
Freshman year. You can start positioning yourself to get a lot of scholarship money and grades for one, of course, that's a given. But then joining the right organizations like I talked about, doing the community service hours, starting to build relationships with adults so that you can have that winning recommendation letter. So there's a lot of things that you can do leading up to your junior year is when you really need to start hitting it hard as far as filling out applications. But there are opportunities throughout, I've seen stuff for kindergarten. Right. So you always want to be looking for opportunities to win money.
Yeah, I guess the greatest thing is don't wait till the last minute.
Yes, please don't wait till the last minute.
Hey, start up or shut up.
Right.
Start now or shut it down later, I guess.
Right, or it will be shut down later.
So how can everybody stay in contact with you?
My website, FeleciaHatcher.com, and then same thing on Facebook and Twitter at Felecia Hatcher are the best ways to reach me. I'm team follow back.
Team follow back? Hey, well, I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Listen, dude, you have to send me some of those popsicles.
Some popsicles? All right. I'll see what I can do.
I mean, how long would it take to get here?
We ship overnight, so it takes about 2 to 3 days for us to process the order, depending on the flavors you request, and then it's shipped overnight, right to your house.
What's the website for the?
Feverishice.com.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for blessing my...
for your studio?
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Well, I appreciate it so much. Hey, this is Kantis Simmons, and remember, only one game of life counts, and that's your A game. Thank you again, Felecia.
You're welcome.
Cool.
All right.
Bam!